The mystery deepens into the presumed drowning of Glee star Naya Rivera as helicopters and divers search for her body. The actress disappeared after renting a pontoon boat around 1:30 p.m. with her 4-year-old son on Lake Piru, an hour outside Los Angeles. This is the dock behind me where Naya Rivera left on her ill-fated boating trip yesterday. Sheriff's deputies tell me that when she didn't return, a dock employee went searching for the actress. He says he found the boy alone on the boat, and the boy said his mom went swimming and she didn't come back.
The child indicated that they were on the boat together and they went out and they were swimming, that his mother was not wearing a life preserver. I thoroughly believe it's an accident.
Cops found her life vest on the rented pontoon, but no sign of the actress. On Wednesday afternoon, the actress rented a pontoon boat similar to this one. It has a motor, sits on 2 floats, and rents for $250.
North Korean leader's younger sister Kim Yo-jong has rejected the idea of holding another summit with the United States, saying such talks is useless and unnecessary. She made the remark in a statement carried by the regime state media on Friday, a day after U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said the U.S. is very hopeful about continuing dialogue with North Korea, whether it be another summit between their leaders or through working-level talks, once again putting the ball in North Korea's court. In response, Kim Yo-jong says she does not see another summit happening within this year as long as there's no change in Washington's position in the negotiations. But she stressed that does not mean North Korea is not going to denuclearize. She also called on the U.S. to take major steps and drop its hostile policy towards the North.
Seoul Mayor Park Won-soon, seen by many as a likely candidate for president, was found dead on a mountain in the capital shortly after midnight Korea time in an apparent suicide. He'd been reported missing by his daughter earlier on Thursday.
Yes, Devin, I'm at Seoul National University Hospital where the wake for the mayor is being held. It's been bustling with a lot of media, as you'd expect, waiting for any updates on funeral proceedings. At noon today, the funeral home started taking visitors and is now open to the public. We have seen many high-ranking public officials come for a visit, including President Moon Jae-in's top aides and the U.S. ambassador. However, the visitors are generally keeping their words to themselves at the moment, while the media is trying to get a few words. In addition, a handwritten message left by the mayor has been released to the public. Let's hear what he said.
I'm sorry to everyone. I thank all those who have been with me throughout my life. My family, I'm sorry that I've only given pain to you. Goodbye, everyone.
For a second day, workers of Airbus and its suppliers marched against planned job cuts. The European Airbus group plans to cut 11% of its global workforce after a 40% decline in its jet business, which was worth over $60 billion. Workers in France, Germany, Spain and Britain are affected. But restructuring is unavoidable, according to this aviation consultant.
The main difficulty for Airbus and all the aviation makers is that we don't know which kind of need we will have in a few years. Will people keep flying as they did before because of economical reasons or even ecological reasons?
Italy has banned the arrival of people coming from 13 nations deemed at risk due to high COVID-19 infection rates. Travellers who have transited through or stayed in those countries over the past 2 weeks will not be allowed into Italy. Elsewhere, Romania saw a record number of new coronavirus cases in a single day. Despite major cities turning into hotspots, no restrictions have been put in place by local authorities.
This was the moment the world watched history go up in flames on April 15th last year. The spire of Notre-Dame has since become the subject of fierce debate in France. On Thursday, the country's president finally gave his blessing to a faithful reconstruction of the cathedral's iconic wooden pinnacle. Emmanuel Macron also said he wants the monument restored in less than 5 years. His comments come after France's incoming culture minister said there was a large consensus in public opinion concerning the spire. It also comes after France received a flood of proposals from architects from across the globe. The 12th century cathedral was under renovation when a fire tore through it in 2019.
It's so bad now in South Africa that trucks are having to go in convoy to be safe. And that is just crazy. It reminds me of Rhodesia back in the late 1970s. Cars had to go in convoy because of terrorists. Now, and they had to be under escort. We are moving to the same kind of stage in South Africa, where trucks are going to have to be protected. This is going to push up the price of everything in South Africa because these terrorists are allowed to get away with it. They're burning trucks, they're stoning trucks, they're stealing from trucks. That is the lifeblood of South Africa that has been destroyed by terrorists, and the ANC government are doing absolutely nothing about it.
Yeah, situation right here by Harrismith now on the on-ramp to Joburg. I see Magma security standing in the back there. Here we go, all the bikers.
Violence broke out on the streets of Athens as mass demonstrations against the controversial protest law went out of control, and with Greek police using tear gas to disperse an angry mob of around 10,000 people. Large-scale protests were held across 40 cities in Greece, with demonstrations being held all over the country. Demonstrators demanded the withdrawal of the controversial draft proposal of protest law. Among the 10,000 protesters who had gathered in Athens, many were caught hurling country-made petrol bombs and were seen rioting across the city. The protesters immediately met with police force, with the city's cops using tear gas shelling and batons to disperse the massive crowd.
This Sunday, Poles will choose their president for the next 5 years. After a divisive first round, two candidates remain: incumbent President Andrzej Duda and his main opponent, Warsaw Mayor Rafał Trzaskowski. Leszek Kabłak reports.
Szanowni Państwo, bardzo dziękuję.
In the first round, the incumbent president defeated his final rival by 2.5 million votes. Despite this, Andrzej Duda cannot be sure of victory and must strive for the votes of the right-wing voters of the Confederation Party.
None of the candidates who passed the second round deserve our support.
Over 1,300,000 voters supported the right-wing candidate of the Confederation.
The Confederation does not officially support any of the candidates. We leave this decision to our voters, who are the most intelligent group of voters in Poland, so they will definitely cope with this choice.
The Houthi-controlled part of Yemen is facing its worst fuel crisis of the decade. Hundreds of Yemenis are queuing up outside petrol bunks, waiting for their turn to fill their tanks, except that it is very likely that these people might end up waiting the entire night and not get a drop of fuel. The Houthis, who are facing critical fuel shortage, are accusing Saudi Arabia and the Yemeni government it is fighting in Aden. Officials in Sana'a also hit out at the Saudi-led coalition for stopping close to 22 fuel ships from offloading in the port of Hodeidah.
22 AH-64 Apache and 15 Chinook helicopters have been delivered. These deliveries have been done by Boeing. These new Apaches and Chinooks have been delivered to the Indian Air Force.
That's correct. Now, with this delivery of the Apache and Boeing, the total order that was given by the Indian Air Force of 22 Apache attack helicopters, which is basically the CH-47F, that's for India, and the second one is obviously 15 Chinook CH-47F, again for India, have been completed. Now, the first lot was given last year, and now we see the last of the 5 of the 22 Apache helicopters have now been handed over to Air Force.